Hello there, my fellow crafters. Welcome to Crafting Unedited. Today we're going to talk about Cricut Access. In the past I've talked a lot about Cricut and the benefits of having my machine and how to use the machine and some fun projects that I've done in the past. But today we're going to talk about a program that is called Cricut Access. So Cricut Access is the program or product or service, however you want to call it, that comes along with Cricut Design Space. Cricut Design Space is a software that I use to create my images and my projects for things like cards, like greeting cards, like happy birthday cards, congratulations, baby showers, stuff like that. The images for my t-shirts, for my cups and tumblers, all kinds of things. So it is a really useful software, and it is the only thing that you can use that is compatible with the Cricut machines. Cricut Air Explorer or Explorer Air, Maker, and the Cuttlebug, the Joy, the new Cricut Joy, which I cannot wait to learn more about that. It'll be really exciting. But today we are talking about just Access. So why don't we get started? Cricut, oh my goodness, words. Cricut Access is, it's kind of a discount program, I guess is how I would say, because if you don't have Access and you go into Design Space, I'm already signed in, so it's not going to be worth me showing you on mine. I have Access. I have the $9.99 monthly plan. We'll go into those in a minute. But if you don't have Access, you don't have all of the access to all of the images, fonts, and ready-to-make projects that you would get if you did have the subscription. So, with that being said, you would be really limiting yourself to stuff that you create and using very basic fonts. Yeah, that can still be fun, but nowhere near as fun and pretty as if you had Cricut Access. So what does Cricut Access give you? Well, it gives you access to well over 100,000 different images, fonts, and designs and ready-to-make projects that you would not get otherwise. So the fonts, how those work with Design Space and Cricut Access. If you don't have Access, you have very limited fonts that you can use. You can always download new ones and use those through Design Space. I did a video on that, so if you've subscribed to my channel, all you gotta do is go look at how to upload a font to Design Space. I can't talk this morning for some reason. My allergies are really haywire today, so pardon me. But anyway, so you can upload free fonts to Design Space. It can be a little bit techy, so if you're not tech savvy and you're not really wanting to go all of that extra route, then your option is to get Cricut Access. But there is many options out there for free fonts. You just got to be a little tech savvy, especially if you're using a Mac, like I do. Learning curve there. But anyway, so access to hundreds upon hundreds of fonts. Choosing a font for me is very difficult because there's so many really cool ones. Access to thousands of different images. I'll show you really quick. So, I don't know if you can see my screen. I'm going to zoom in for you. Bear with me. I'm going to move my camera down a little bit for you too. There we go. So, actually, we're gonna do the old-fashioned. Let me bring my computer to you. There we go. So this is Design Space, right? If I want to go in and select a font, so type hello, right? That is very basic Cricut Sans. That is one that is included in your Cricut Access membership or in your Design Space. without any access, without any extra subscriptions. So you see all these here though, like Three Birds, Life of Party, all these really fun fonts are not included with just Design Space. These are only included with Access. You see over here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but over here there's a little green A. That means that those are Access only fonts. Anything with that little green A icon next to the type of font is only Access permitted. So you get like these basic boring fonts with regular Design Space. So you can see all of these. This is what you get when you just download Design Space, is all these. Yeah, it's a lot, but they're nowhere near as fun as all of these. And there's so many. You can see why it's super difficult. But on the other hand, there are some fonts that are not included with Access that you have to buy separately. Like this one. You see it doesn't have Access next to it. It just has a cost, and that's $4.99. And that $4.99 gets you lifetime access to that font. So it is an extra charge. And there are some, like a Disney font, the bigger brands, those are not included with Access, no matter what level membership that you get. Things like that, like this Disney Mickey tag, those are not included with Design Space or Access. You have to purchase those fonts separately. Oh, there goes an alarm. Sorry, guys. Alrighty, so there's fonts. Why don't we go over to images? So we'll go to projects first. So with Cricut Access, you see all of these with the A on it. Those are Cricut Access projects that are ready to make for you. So they come with not only like the images for the cuts. So this is all the cuts that it would take to make that project. And this tells you what materials you're going to need. And then there are some light instructions. I say light because they can be very, very, very difficult to read or confusing. Those kinds of things. I don't know. I prefer to watch YouTube videos on how to make these things. That is a really pretty flower. I'm going to have to attempt that. So as far as images go, you'll go over to your images and search 100,000 plus images. And you can just search. But I don't want to go through all that. I just want to search images here. Oh, it updated. This is new. So you can see over here where you can select just Cricut Access. Right there. So those are going to be images that you get with Cricut Access. So let's go ahead and select that. And all of these images are included with your Cricut Access membership. Lots and lots and lots of fun images that you can use for creating SVGs. These things are nuts. These mandalas, those are crazy. Very difficult to weed. And they take forever to cut. So lots and lots and lots of free images to work with here. So it kind of just goes over a quick or brief, let me zoom out here again. Whoops, wrong way. That just recaps a brief general idea on, hold on, I want to look at you. All right, there we go. That just recaps a brief viewing of what type of fonts and images that you can get with Design Space, or with Access. I keep calling it Design Space. Design Space comes with your Cricut. Access does not. Access is an additional charge that you have to pay. Speaking of paying, there are 3 levels of Access. There is the standard plan. There is the annual plan. I can't put that down and have standard, annual, and premium. Standard is it's a great for beginners if you're just testing the waters and you're not sure if Cricut Access is for you. You want to just kind of see what all it entails, see what it includes, see if it's worth the extra cost, right? Great. It is $10 a month until you cancel. You can cancel it at any time, so there's no commitment. You are charged that $10 for the first month. After that, it is up to you to cancel. After that, we have the annual subscription, which includes everything with the exception of the big brands like Disney, Sesame Street, Tsum Tsum, those kinds of things. Those are still separate in any of the plans. Doesn't matter. Difference between annual and the standard membership is annual equals out to about $7.99 a month, but it is $100 for, $95.88 for an entire year, and that's how it's billed. You're not billed monthly for that. They package it together so that you pay less for an annual membership. Now, the other one, the premium membership, that includes a little bit more. It is $120 for the year, which equals out to about $10 or $11 $9.99 a month. Do math. Equals about $9.99 a month. But with the premium package, you do get half off of those other fonts and stuff that aren't included, like that one that was $4.99. With the premium membership, it could be up to half off of that, as well as other images and fonts. You also get $50 after you order $50 or more, you get free shipping on that. So Cricut does have a website, like an e-commerce store, that you can order all of your Cricut materials from. And they run some really great sales. I'm just super impatient, so I'd rather go to the store or go through Amazon because it's quicker. But they do have a lot of stuff that other stores do not. And they do run really good sales most of the time. So just depends on what you want to do. If you're patient and you're not really in a rush to get your stuff, then Cricut is the way to go. And sometimes it's not even that long of a wait. Some of the pros and cons about Cricut Access. So, pros. Well, let's back up a little bit. So to get those Disney and other big brand products, like the fonts, the images, the ready-to-make projects, like there are some Spider-Man cards in there that I thought were really cool and I almost purchased. But I found another, I just created a Harry Potter one for that. But anyways, so for those type of things, if you want to purchase them, there's only two options. You buy the entire cartridge, which comes with everyone in a pack. They kind of group them together, so you get the whole cartridge. Or you can buy the images individually, which can add up quite a bit. I mean, most are about $1 each, but then they get up to like $4 or $5 each. So it really depends on which ones you're looking at getting. You can also design your own, totally up to you and how you want to do it. Again, so if you want the big brands like Disney, Sesame Street, Tsum Tsum, those kinds of things, you're going to have to buy those separately. So there is an additional cost to that on top of your either annual or monthly membership. All right, pros and cons. Pros: hundreds of thousands of images, ready-to-make projects and fonts, all at the tip of your fingers. Don't have to go digging for them through like Pinterest and Google and other websites. It's really easy. All of their projects are not all of them. Most of their projects are pretty easy to put together. It just depends on how much time you want to put into it and if you can follow instructions properly. For me, following instructions is really difficult. I'd rather wing it and do it my own way. Because I always think that I can make it a little bit better. I do the same thing with recipes. So they are pretty easy to use. Design Space is very user-friendly. Access makes creating these projects super easy for individuals. There's beginners, there's intermediate, and there's advanced or expert. I haven't attempted any of those yet. I don't know if I will. Maybe I will. Eventually. At some point. So that's a pro. I have a cheat board down here, don't worry. So, no cartridges. So with Cricut Access, you do not need, I have the Maker up right now, but I did have the Explorer Air, and you had the option to put the cartridge in the Explorer, and it would upload into the machine, and you could use whatever were images and fonts were on that cartridge. Well, with Access and the Maker, you do not have that option. So the Access membership does give you pretty much access to any of those cartridges, but instead of having a little like Nintendo looking game piece, you just have your computer. Simple, right? All right. Best pro by far is that you do not have to worry about any copyright issues. Every image and every font that you use through Cricut Access is licensed for your use. So that means that if you have Access membership or subscription, you cannot get hit with a copyright lawsuit issue, any of that. So it's a guaranteed ease of mind, especially for me. I sell my products and Cricut allows you to do that. You just have to have access. So, cons. There's not many cons other than the cost. There is that, reoccurring fee that you do have to pay in order to keep your subscription. Without it, you don't have the access that you do with it. Cannot be used with any other software. And this isn't really geared towards Access. This is Design Space in general. Anything that you use in Design Space cannot be used with any other software. So if you create something in Design Space and you want to take it over to your Silhouette cutter, it's not going to work. Not at all. There are other ways and means of creating images and projects, but Design Space will not allow you to take it elsewhere. That is an issue that I kind of ran into a little bit because I wanted to create a business card, and I created it, and then I couldn't get it off of Design Space. I also created a logo that I couldn't get off of Design Space. So just keep that in mind, that you cannot transfer it elsewhere. That is it. That's all the cons, really. The fee and I mean, that's not really Access, it's Design Space. So the only con of having Access is cost. But for me, it's easier to use than digging through Pinterest trying to find an image that may or may not be free and that I may have to purchase one part here and then go over here, purchase another part, maybe purchase a font over there. I mean, by the time you get the whole project together, you've already paid for a monthly subscription. To me, that just doesn't make sense. So if it does for you, great. If you're not, making hundreds of projects on a yearly basis for customers, then not using Access would be great. Totally up to you and how you want to do it. There is no real answer. For me, and in my opinion, yes, Cricut Access is 100% worth it. It's $100 to $120 a year or $10 a month. To me, having that ease of mind on copyright issues is worth every single penny, personally. So, that kind of covers everything. I hope that I helped ease your confusion a little bit as far as, is Cricut Access worth it or not? My opinion, absolutely. Though my opinion may not be worth very much, but I will tell you, I have made a successful online e-commerce store using Cricut Access images. 90% of what I make is through Cricut Access, whether it be fonts, images, or projects. So that in and of itself has paid for it. Personal opinion, take it for what you want. I trust myself. I've got lots of people who trust me as well in my opinions. And I'm budget friendly, so if I say something's worth it, it's definitely worth it. So I hope that I have eased your mind a little and helped you make a decision. If not, my bad. But either way, I had fun. And I learned a little bit too that like Cricut updated, so it was great. Anyway, so subscribe to my channel so that you can see all of the fun projects and fonts that I use in Design Space, and so that I can teach you how to use Cricut Access and Cricut Design Space. All you gotta do is hit that little subscribe button down there in the corner, or up there. There. Hit that little subscribe button there. And then if you want to know when I'm on, just hit the bell. It'll alert you anytime that I upload something new. Until next time, my fellow crafty friends, see you later.